These refs have been bad this year, though. Have they been worse than ever, Mike? What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you, I think they're more confused than ever, and that's not a good thing. And listen, in some ways, I think they've made progress, but they have, put these expedited reviews, video assistant. They put all these things in places to correct things that happen in real time, so you don't have to go to replay. And I think that's a good thing, but on the other hand, I think it's really hurt officiating. There's so much indecisiveness that you see the officials on pushing the button on their belt, which allows them to talk to the video assistant upstairs to get his input on things. And I had a conversation this morning with somebody that's very involved in officiating with the league, and it's like nobody wants to officiate anymore. They want to rely on somebody else to give them the input to make the calls. And I think that indecision has hurt the flow of the game just about as badly as replay has hurt the flow of the game. So I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with what I'm seeing, because I look back when I was on the field, you had to make the damn call. You had to adjust your flag and put it where it was supposed to be if it was a spot foul. Now you don't have to do that anymore. And I just think that, I'm struggling with that, and I'm struggling with the pass interference. That I feel like there's more and more misses and pass interference that's being made. But I would say to you, the feeling to me over the first full 6 weeks of the season is it hasn't been what it should be.
And what you're saying, I think, would make a lot of sense to a lot of parents that had to potentially teach their kids how to ride a bike. When you take the training wheels off, that's really when you get to learning how to you have to do your own thing. That's kind of what you're thinking, right? Since they have something that they can rely upon, they don't really have to commit themselves as much to officiating, so they're just kind of half-assed.
And let's remember too that these guys, their success or failure is based on evaluation, is based on grades. So if they can get some input to help them to make the right call, then it's certainly beneficial to them. But I just think, Pat, I don't get a good feel for it. I mean, there have been expedited reviews that I love. A miss on the sideline on a catch, that's obviously a miss, and they can jump in and they correct it, and it doesn't have to go to a challenge or a review. I like that. But overall,
Hey, how do we fix that?
I just don't like what I'm seeing.
How do we fix that by having only it be a one-way street of conversation from the replayer to the ref, as opposed to the ref asking them the question? Then the reviewer is almost like, hey, I'll just come in and correct when it is due. So then it lowers the expectation of when the conversation should happen?
Pat, to me, it's like instant replay. It's gotten to the point where, to me, it's too involved, but it's like you're never going to go back. It's like player safety things. Or player safety points of emphasis get in, and when they get in, they're not going to take them back. And in this, it's the same way. When you open up this communication, the thing is now this is happening not only in the NFL, but it's happening in college football, and it's happening in high school football. Everybody has these O2O communication systems, and that's where the original intent, I liked it. So you wired everybody so they could talk to each other. So if a coach on the sideline said, what did he call on the other side of the field? You could immediately call your guy, get on your system to the guy on the other side of the field, get what he called, give it back immediately to the coach. Great. You could call pass interference downfield, go to the referee and say, I got defensive pass interference, 32 defense, and you wouldn't have to have a conference. The intent was great, but now with New York on the line and everybody on the line, there's conference after conference after conference, and they're pushing that button and talking to more and more people. And while I think the officials themselves are better than officials themselves used to be before, I think the officiating is worse because you've added this new element that is, I don't want to say destroyed it, but to me has hurt it.
Okay, so with everything you just said, by the way, incredible information there, and thank you for it. And I think a lot of people will understand what you're saying, and it will maybe make a lot more sense for people, even though people aren't going to stop getting pissed off. So how do you fix it, you think? Is there, like, for instance, Walt and I know Walt has been reffing for 70 years in the NFL, and he was great for a long time. As a pioneer, has done a lot for the game. He hated me when I played for whatever reason, so I hated him, obviously. Now he's in a position that is, something that I do have to talk about, but he's probably just as confused as you are about the whole thing. And how do we fix it? Is there a way to fix it, you think, or is this just the new normal we're going to have to deal
No,
with?
I don't think there's a way to fix it. Now, I think maybe there's a way to get better at it. Maybe over time you get better. And he himself has admitted you got to walk through the process. This is new. This video assistant / replay official, these expedited reviews. It's new, but to me, it's added this element of confusion. I'm not so sure I want to be a coach because now I don't even know when to challenge. I mean, do I challenge or do I wait? Do I wait to see if they're going to correct it and not throw the challenge flag? And then I wait, and then there's a pause. It will get better. I think it will get better. And Walt, and Perry Fuel are in the replay center. They're new, so they're kind of working through this too. It takes some time to get used to making fairly quick decisions in replay, like Walt is having to do now in the Art McNally Command Center in New York. So there's a lot of newness that's going on, but you're not going to take away the system. It's not going to happen. It's just more and more now that you're trying to get everything right, even though maybe it destroys the tempo of the game, which I don't like. And by the way, you said Walt Anderson didn't like you on the field.
No,
is that true?
Yeah, I had a great fun.
Tell me somebody that did.
Oh, whoa! You're right. I
can't think of one. They like you now. They like you now, but they weren't that high on you then.
Well, a little accountability. I just want a little accountability. Yeah. But I feel like I would compliment as well. But I could understand if they thought it was me and John Perry had an incredible interaction down in Jacksonville one time where he spotted a punt out of bounds, because I hit it out of bounds, perfect punt in my eyes, and he took about 5 yards off of my punt, because he did the old point thing, and the next time as we went out for a field goal, I let him know that he probably took food off the plate of my family because of the way he did his entire thing, with different words potentially in there. Sure. John fired right back though. I mean, it was amazing. So I appreciate the officials. I do. I understand that there's a tough job to be had, and in the moment, you have to deal with it all. But whenever you're talking to the person that is replaying, are they on the call with Walt directly, or is there a person for each game, and how is that person decided upon, and where are they? Are they in the Art McNally thing as well?
No, you have your replay official that's at the stadium, so you're in communication with him. And then you are also tied in to the command center, basically to a person that is watching the game. And so then if there is a stoppage or if there is a score, they will bring Walt Anderson over or Wayne Mackey over, and they will look at it to confirm it or to say if it needs to be stopped. And of course there's input that comes from the replay official, but then the referee talks to New York. Everybody's talking. I'd love to hear it. I mean, it'd be great. It would be great television if we could actually hear what was going on.
Mike, how come they just won't do what the XFL did?
Well, I don't listen. I remember when we tried to put conversations with officials on, we thought, let's try it. And this is back in my day. This is back when I was running the program, maybe about 2002 or something like that. And so let's experiment with it. So we mic'd all the officials. This is before this 020. And we said, we're going to listen to everything you say. So a guy called pass interference on Ed Hockley's crew. And he came up to, threw the flag, came to Hockley, and Hockley said, what do you got? And the official responded, I really don't know. I don't know. I've got something, but I don't know exactly what it is. And at that point, I said, experiment over. I do not want this to go out on air to a national audience when a referee asks him, what do you got? And you go, I'm really not sure. I think it might be passing. Well, that's not good.
Hey, somebody's
I'm
watching.
sure there's a lot of conversation that goes on that we probably wouldn't want to hear. Period.
I would assume, but the XFL had that Xbox controller, and it was right over the shoulder, and I think I only saw it really used one time, and it might have been the game that I was even a part of because it was pretty cool. And they were talking to the head ref on the field, and was, yeah, it looks like, and it's like slow mo. It was a young person, it was obviously a gamer. Yeah, the ball was out at the 28 or something like that, and then boom, they just moved the ball, and it just worked. I'm like, that seems like that would be a very quick, efficient way. Not that every conversation has to be caught, but at least the person reviewing could just say, hey, this is what it was. We could see why you saw what you saw. But I feel like there has to be a way that we could update all of these things.
They have taken the step of at least they allow you to show what they're looking at on the replay monitor. So when they're actually the video, when the replay official or New York is talking to the referee, you can actually put that monitor what they're showing on air. But you wonder if we won't get to some point. The spring leagues are coming back. The USFL is coming back in the spring of 2022, and I think you may see some transparency there that is even more than you saw in the XFL, which will be kind of fun. And the NFL, in a way, if they love to let someone else experiment, and if they experiment and they like it, then they may pick it up. So we'll see. But I love transparency, and in a way, I love educating fans, and
Yes.
it's a way really to educate the fan.